this is Jo from Math Tutor Me, and today we're going to be doing some more surds. We're going to be doing the multiplication of surds. Hopefully you've already watched my videos on simplifying surds, and I've also got one on adding and subtracting surds. When we were adding and subtracting surds, we always had to make sure that our surds were like surds before we can add or subtract. But when you're multiplying surds, you don't need to do that. You can multiply any surds that you like. All you need to do, if I have some square root of some number here times square root of some other number, all I do is multiply those two numbers underneath the surd together. And this is a special case. If the two things that I'm multiplying together are the same number, square root of m times square root of m, then the surd just disappears and I just get the number that I started with. Anyway, it's always much easier to see these rules when you actually see them in questions with numbers in them. So to help us out, I've also got our perfect square numbers written down the side here, always very helpful when you're doing questions with surds. So let's have a look at some multiplying questions. Square root of 5 times the square root of 7. So when I'm multiplying, don't have to look for like surds. All I have to do is write one big square root sign and multiply the numbers underneath. 5 times 7 is 35. Now always be on the lookout for being able to simplify surds. So can I divide by, well, that's too big. No, nothing is going to help me simplify that. So that is the best answer that I can give. All right, let's try question 2. 3 root 11 times 2 root 3. When there's numbers at the front, all we do is multiply those together as well. So 3 times 2 is 6. That goes out the front. Write my surd down and multiply the numbers underneath. 11 times 3 is 33. Just check to see if you can simplify. 33 is not going to divide by any of those numbers, so that's your answer. Okay, let's look at question 3. 6 root 2 times 4 root 2. Well, we multiply the numbers at the front together. 6 times 4 is 24. And square root of 2 times square root of 2. Now we could do what we've been doing before, which is write our square root sign, and 2 times 2 is 4. But we can also use our special case here. Because these are the same, 2 and 2, square root of 2 times square root of 2 means the square root disappears and I just get 2. Square root 2 times square root 2 is 2. And then I can just multiply these together. 24 times 2 is 48. Question 4. 5 root 2 times 2 root 12. Okay, let's multiply the numbers at the front. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, they're different numbers this time, so let's start our surd. 2 times 12 is 24. Okay, we've multiplied, but this time we can actually simplify as well. 24 can be divided by 4, one of my perfect square numbers. So let's leave the 10, break the 24 to be 4 times 6, split the surd, square root of 4 times square root of 6, square root that 4, which is 2, and 10 times 2 is 20, square root of 6. Alright, that's it. That's how you multiply surds. So, time to have a practice. Here is the steps for you. First thing you do is multiply any numbers at the front of your surds together. Step 2, multiply the numbers underneath the square root signs together. And number 3, simplify the surd if possible. So take your pen and paper, pause the video and have a try of these 3 questions. Okay, hopefully you've had a try. Let's have a look at the answers now. Question 1, 2 root 7 times 4 root 3. Okay, step 1 is to multiply the numbers at the front. 2 times 4 is 8. Step 2 is multiply the numbers underneath the square root sign. Okay, so 7 times 3 is 21. Step 3 is to simplify the surd if possible. Can I simplify 21? Can I divide by a perfect square over here? No, so that is my final answer. Let's do it again for question 2. 9 root 5 times 2 root 5. First step, multiply the numbers out the front. 9 times 2 is 18. Multiply the numbers underneath the surd is the second step. Root 5 times root 5 though is our special case, which becomes a 5. And then multiply our numbers together. 18 times 5 is 90. Question 3. Let's multiply the numbers at the front. 4 times 3 is 12. Square root of, multiply these numbers together. 2 times 45 is 90. Okay, we've multiplied. Now we need to simplify. 90 can be divided by 9. So leave the 12 at the front. 9 times 10 is 90. Split the surd. Okay, and then square root of 9 is 3. And then just multiply 12 times 3 is 36. Square root 10. And that's your final answer. And that's how you multiply surds. Okay, now it's always time to go and practice some more questions. And then I look forward to seeing you with my next video on surds. Happy practicing!